I have a very eclectic background. To give you an idea, I have undergraduate and master's degrees in the following fields: management, public communications, accounting, finance, broadcast and digital journalism.
Conversations with indie authors. Welcome to the show, Naresh Vissa.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on.
Tell us a little bit about your journey from starting Krish Media and becoming a marketing #1 bestseller.
Yes, well, I started Krish Media Marketing in 2013, so we are 10 years in. I was
Nice.
working in corporate. I have a very eclectic background. To give you an idea, I have undergraduate and master's degrees in the following fields: management, public communications, accounting, finance, broadcast and digital journalism. Those are the areas that I studied, and I ended up working in media and also worked in finance on Wall Street. And that culminated in working a corporate job in financial media and financial publishing and financial marketing. So while I was working at the probably the largest financial marketing or financial publishing company in the world in Baltimore, Maryland, I learned a lot about technology, business, entrepreneurship. I attended a lot of different conferences. And then what ended up happening was I left the company and started my own thing. First, I started it on the side. And then by the time I left the company, it's like I gave myself a 20% raise. I'm also the host of the Work From Home show. So I started this from my condo in like downtown Baltimore. And about 2 years in, I was like, whoa, like here I am sitting at home, like making money, doing well. And so I moved down to Florida, continued, grew my business, started a second business in the real estate space. We do a ton of real estate marketing and a lot of real estate investing as well. So started that.
Awesome. So how many books do you have total so far?
5. They're all available on Amazon and my website, nareshvissa.com, but Amazon's a better place to find them. I'm looking forward to publishing my next one probably in 2024.
Okay, next year. Nice. Your book, From Nobody to Bestselling Author, is about self-publishing. What inspired you to write this?
Pretty simple answer. The fact that I became a self-published author inspired it. So that was my last book, like you mentioned, From Nobody to Bestselling Author. And I published 4 books before that. And my company, Krish Media Marketing, has a publishing arm called Krish Publishing, and we publish other people's books. So my company does a lot of publishing. I do a lot of publishing. The inspiration for the book is all of that. And we had so many clients coming in and saying, hey, I'm interested in writing a book or publishing a book. So they reached out or they would set up calls with me. And I said, you know what, this would be a great book topic, a great book idea. So I came out with the book, and it's done quite well.
I get authors asking me all the time, what do I do to promote my book? How do I, be seen? How do I get anyone to know I exist? I've done all this work on this book. What do I do now?
The secret sauce, it's a very important question. And the answer is, I mean, we can't spend 2 minutes answering that question because really it could take 2 days. The easy answer is it's not easy. You have to find out what works best for you. But what I'll do is quickly, chapter 10 in my book, From Nobody to Bestselling Author, the title of that chapter is 18 Ways to Market Your Book. First thing is, are you writing fiction or nonfiction? Fiction is much harder to promote. Nonfiction is easier to promote. Why is it easier to promote? Because if you are writing on a niche topic, like a niche subject, then that people will find your niche. And what I mean by niche is this book that we're talking about right now, From Nobody to Bestselling Author, that's a very niche topic. The subtitle is how to write, publish, and market your book. That's super niche. That's not like your common man on the street isn't going to be interested in that topic, which is good. The more niche you are, the better. So the first thing is you definitely want to pick a niche topic. The second thing is you want to make your books available on pre-order. That way, they're on Amazon. They can develop some search engine optimization. You want your books on pre-order for, I would say, at least 3 weeks. At least if the longer, the better. That way, Google can and Amazon can pick up on those keywords, and there's just more lead time for people to find the book. The next thing is you want to be everywhere. And when I say be everywhere, if your book is long enough, you want it in hardback. Of course, you want it in paperback, you want it in Kindle, and you want it in audiobook. So there are 4 places where you want your book. And audiobook is sold on Audible, it's sold on iTunes. Paperback has its own channels where it's sold. Kindle has its own channels. So you're reaching a bunch of different channels and markets by having different versions of your book available. And I see the mistake authors make. They'll only put it on Kindle back in the day, or they'll only put it on Kindle and paperback, and they'll neglect the other two, or they'll neglect the audiobook. So that's another one. Another way to promote is what I'm doing right now, coming on shows like yours, talking about my book, promoting it. I'm not even promoting my book, really. I'm just talking about it. So it's finding podcasts to be a guest on. My company, Krish Media Marketing, has an entire public relations arm where we help not just art authors, but just experts on their search engine optimization, online PR, etc. So there's that. And then there's when you publish your book, if you use Kindle Direct Publishing, they have discounted or free price promotions and campaigns. I love giving my books away for free. In fact, I am offering my book right now, From Nobody to Bestselling Author. If you're listening, I'll give you a free copy of my book. Just contact me, visit my website, nareshvissa.com, NARESHVISSA, nareshvissa.com. Contact me through there, and I'd love to give your audience a free copy of my book. Giving away free is a good way to drive up reviews. So that's another way that you can promote your book. Run campaigns to promote people or to encourage people to write reviews. So I can keep going on and on. I mean, like I said, the title of the chapter is 16 Ways to Market Your Book.
Just a few of the top ones. So you have a publishing company. So is this an independent publishing company then?
Yes, it's an independent house, Krish Publishing. We have designers, editors, even ghostwriters, you name it. We help publish books, and we've had success doing that.
You mentioned that the world is improving day by day. How has this evolution impacted the opportunities of self-published authors, and what advice do you have for staying competitive in the market?
First off, when you brought up one of my quotes from my book that the world is improving day by day, it's not just improving, but it is, like I said earlier in the recording, I was in my condo apartment in Baltimore, Maryland, when I started my business, when I wrote my books, and you can too. It is an amazing time to be alive, and you could literally just sit in front of your computer and write a book. And we had on my podcast, a work from home show, we had an expert on artificial intelligence. Actually, we published his book, and he talked about ChatGPT. And I hate saying it, but ChatGPT is an aid. You should not use it to write your books, not because it's plagiarism or bad or anything. I mean, you can get it to write unique content, but it's still not as good as my voice or my ideas. You can certainly use it, you can tweak it, you can edit it, you can throw in your own stuff, but it's an amazing time to be alive because of the computer, because of Google, because of the internet, because of ChatGPT. It's easier than ever to write and publish and market a book.
Can you highlight a few essential steps or strategies from your book that aspiring authors can implement to increase their chances of becoming a bestseller?
Well, the first thing is the hardest part of writing, publishing, the whole process is actually writing the thing. A lot of people have it in their heads, but they don't put it to paper. You need to actually write it. You can't. I just told you that it's been 5 years since I published my last book, and I haven't published anything since then because I have it in my head, or I have it in notes, but I haven't actually sat down and written things. That is the hardest part. But actually putting it to paper, writing, that's the real challenge. And so I tell people, if you really want to write a book, you need to start writing. You can't just keep it all up in here because it's never going to get published. It's never going to happen. I'll say this, if you think you're going to sell a book or promote a book by telling your friends and family, even in business, that's just a terrible strategy, because you'll be surprised at how little support you do get from friends and family, whether it's buying the book or promoting the book or whatever, no matter how good the book might be. In my case, my first book, Podcastnomics, I remember I was so excited. I told my friends, I told my family, but this is when podcasting, no one even knew what it was. And so they were like, oh, this is cool. Like, I don't really know what this is. And the book crushed it online because I went on podcasts like yours. I ran some ads. This was back in the day. This was like almost 10 years ago. And I found that niche market, and it just sold. It just did well. Like, and I don't think a single, maybe only a handful of friends and family actually bought the book. So the first thing is, if you're going to be dependent on friends, family to buy your book, and if that brings me to number two, and that is, if you're doing this to get rich, if you think you're going to make a career out of writing books, it can happen, but it's kind of like making it in Hollywood. You even have like New York Times bestselling authors who are one-hit wonders, and they're not able to pay their bills. So if you think you're going to become super wealthy writing a book and publishing it, that's just not going to happen. And if you think your friends and family are going to turn you into a best-selling author, that's not going to happen either.
That's good advice, actually. Is there anything else that you want to add to help the audience today?
Well, I think I've shared a ton of nuggets to help them get started on writing, some tools. Highly recommend that you check out my book, From Nobody to Bestselling Author. I am offering it free of charge, so please contact me. It's probably going to be in the show notes also. I want to share the knowledge and the wealth with your audience. So contact me, read the book, and I hope that those listening, you're inspired and will one day publish your book.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this enlightening episode of the Zarlaquan podcast. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss a beat.